Think about it. They had entered his own bedroom, his innermost room. So can you imagine, like we have the White House in America, right? And the White House has many layers of security. There are snipers on the roof, security guards, dogs, all these things are there, right? And deep inside is the president's residence. So imagine the president comes out of the bathroom and sees 6 people sitting there. Mr. President, we have a question. I mean, if someone crosses so many layers of security and appears in the bedroom, what does it mean? They came to kill, right? That's what it means. How did they get through so many security layers and appear in the bedroom? You understand, right? So he turned and saw so many people. إِذْ دَخَلُوا عَلَى دَاوُودَ. When they entered upon Dawud. فَفَزِعَ مِنْهُمْ. So he was frightened by them. He was shocked. What's happening here, right? Besides, look, Dawud alayhi salam was not just a king, he was also a military leader. And military leaders have enemies. And so, if they see someone in the private quarters, they understand that there's an attempt to kill. So they said, La tahaf khasmani bagha ba'duna ala ba'd. Do not fear, we are 2 disputants, one of us has wronged the other. Oh no, don't be afraid. We just have a problem. We just want your advice. To understand the events of the Quran well, what I do is, I imagine myself in that situation. So I imagine that after finishing the program here, I returned to my hotel. I went to the bathroom in my hotel room and freshened up. Then I came out and saw 8 of you sitting there, on my bed. Ustadh, we didn't get a chance to talk to you then. My cousin works in this hotel. So we have a question. You said in a video, oh, I would be scared to death there. You understand what kind of frightening situation that would be, right? And in that situation, what am I thinking? Should I answer you or should I kick you out of the room? Should I call the police or should I run away myself? The thing that would never cross my mind is, oh, please sit comfortably. Yes, feel free to sit as if it's your own home. No problem at all. What would you like to eat? Tea or coffee? Yes, sit there. Shoes there, yes, nicely. Wala tushtit wadina ila sawa is sirat. So they said, will you judge between us, but don't give a wrong answer. That's what they said. La tushtit. Don't give absurd answers. Then they said, guide us to the right path. This is my brother. He has 99 ewes and I have 1. Faqala atiniha. And he said, give her to me. Wa azzani fil khitab. And he overpowered me in speech or intimidated me. Azza means having power over someone, meaning he uses his power. 99 ewes means he is richer, meaning he has more servants, more influence, more power. Using that influence, he mistreats me and says, give me your ewe. Oh, just give it. What will you do with it? If you knew how to manage ewes, you wouldn't have just 1. You understand? So he bullies me like this. Leave that aside, I'll explain a new version of this because I just came from Pakistan. I saw some people there who build large housing complexes, right? Housing communities, apartment complexes, etc. like DHA, DOHH, something like that. They might build 5,000 houses. These communities will have large walls, big gates, many security guards. You live outside of it. What does that mean? If you go on the street, bicycles go that way, rickshaws go that way, buses from one side and highway from the other side. That's how it is, right? I mean, the true meaning of the word freeway, I understood right there. Absolutely free. Go however you want. A freeway. But if you enter through their gate, you will suddenly feel like you've arrived abroad. The roads are clean, everything is calm, systematic, everyone obeys traffic laws. There are malls and good people who think they can speak English very well and so much more. I went to some of the restaurants to see what they consider English. Dost, what the hell, yeah? I mean, it's fun. It's more fun to hear these things than the food itself. Alright, let's go back to the Quran. So what they do is, they build these housing societies. But in the middle of it, there's someone with a very old dilapidated house and he won't sell it. He has no intention of selling his land. Do you know what they do then? They build buildings all around his property. He can't even get out of his house. There is no road, nothing. He can't even get in. He has only one option, sell it. Because they want to build a shopping mall on that entire area. I mean, some people are very powerful, they have a lot of money, and then there are others who have some assets but no power. One person has 99 and the other has what? 1. The one who has 99 bosses over the one who has 1. That happens in Pakistan, it happens in America, it happens in Australia, in Bangladesh, in Germany. It happens all over the world, right? Sometimes even the government does this to its people, right? Business partners do this to other business partners. Big businesses do this to small businesses. It always happens. Now listen to the words of Dawud alayhi salam. After this, where am I actually going? Now listen to the words of Dawud alayhi salam and then I will come to the main point. Dawud alayhi salam says, I'm only quoting the part relevant to our discussion. وَإِنَّ كَثِيرًا مِنَ الْخُلَطَاءِ لَيَبْغِي بَعْضُهُمْ عَلَى بَعْضٍ. And indeed, many of the partners oppress one another. And from the context, you can understand who is oppressing whom, right? The one who has more oppresses the relatively poor, isn't it? And the one who has power intimidates others. This happens everywhere. Khulata primarily means people whose lives are interconnected, like, for example, family, right? So imagine in a family, there's a father and 6 sons. Okay? One son is richer than the others and has political connections. The other brothers don't have that. Or two of them have it and the other four don't have it. Now, when it comes to inheriting wealth, you can understand who will not get their fair share, right? Because those who have power will remove those who don't have power, or they might not give them anything at all, isn't it? So these kinds of things happen. That's why Dawud alayhi salam is saying in many cases, people who are connected to each other harm each other. He gave this statement and then he said, "Illa alladhina amanu wa amilus salihati wa qalilum mahum." Except for those who believe and do righteous deeds, and how few are they? Meaning, one of the signs of those who are truly believers and do good deeds is that they do not break business agreements. He said, how few are they? Think about this statement of Dawud alayhi salam. Allah explains what is Hikma. Allah just said that Allah gave Dawud alayhi salam Hikma. Now people came to him and said, this is our case. And before judging, he said, all right, listen, this happens a lot. But where did Dawud get this idea that it happens a lot? Did he get it from revelation? What do you think? Or did he gained experience from countless cases and troubles? He dealt with a huge number of problems. He is the ruler, the leader of the children of Israel. He is with them all the time. He sees many precedents. You know, my deepest and most subtle discussions in my life have been with military generals, judges and lawyers. You can learn a lot from these people. For example, I asked them, so what have you learned from working on this bench for 50 years? They said you won't learn that in just 30 minutes of discussion. I said, well, everything has a beginning. Let's start somewhere. At least tell me something. I have learned a lot from these kind of experienced people. What has the Quran done here? How amazing the Quran is. It says that life's experiences are what will teach you. What will they teach you? Wisdom. And when Allah said that He gave Dawud alayhi salam Hikma, that's what He said, right? Allah is essentially saying that He gave Dawud alayhi salam real life experiences from which he learned how people behave, how society works. From this part of wisdom, he understands this case. He understands human behavior. Do you understand what I'm saying? This is an amazing example in favor of Hikma. Now, before this, you might have thought Hikmah is something that comes from Allah, perhaps something spiritual. Meaning, if you worship a Lord, maybe Hikmah will come. This is also in the Quran, although this is a spiritual meaning of Hikmah. But in this discussion, a different level of Hikmah has emerged. It seems almost like a completely secular matter, as if it has no connection with religion at all. What is it then? His work as a judge. He has seen people do many bad things. He has learnt a lot. All these things have taught him a lot. For a student of the Quran like me, what happens with this? Do you know? What happens is that when I'm learning something within the Quran, for example, now I'm learning the verse of divorce. Tomorrow we will talk about this verse of divorce because the context of Hikmah also came up here. So it will be a very interesting discussion. So anyway, although I will leave right after this. Anyway, the reason I brought this up is that when you look at the verses of divorce or when you look at divorce cases, you see the judges related to divorce. What do they pay attention to? They have to carefully observe real life situations. They have to learn from there. So when I read the verse of divorce, I genuinely talk to a divorce attorney. I talk to marriage counselors, I talk to psychologists, and I also talk to people who have experience with divorce. Do you understand? The reason is that they have the hikmah needed to understand these verses. What kind of hikmah do they have? Life experiences. The Quran itself has recognized this type of hikmah through Dawud alayhi salam. Dawud alayhi salam's hikmah is basically life experience. So what I am saying is that the Quran has taken a quite comprehensive approach in defining hikmah, and we will see all these examples. We will learn about a new perspective of hikmah. For example, your grandparents can teach you a lot from their life experiences. The elders of a society are like a pool of hikmah, yet no one cares. What have you learned from life? We are not benefiting from them by asking this way. There are people in various professions who have learned so much from life, seen so much. For example, I will tell you a hikmah that I could not have learnt otherwise. I once met a Navy general. I won't say which Navy, but I met them. At that time, I was researching Surah Rahman. And in Surah Rahman, Allah says, Marajal Bahraini yaltaqiyan, bainahuma barzahun la yabghiyan. Right? He spoke of two seas that meet, and with that he spoke of pearls and coral. Then he also spoke of ships sailing. Walahul jawaril munsha'atu fil bahri kal alam. Right after that, he says, Kullu man alayha fan.
Everyone will die. Everyone has to die. So he spoke of the sea and he spoke of death. I always thought that there must be some connection between the sea and death here. So what better way than to ask someone who has spent their whole life at sea? So I asked that general, you have spent your whole life at sea. Tell me about this verse. What do you feel when you read it? He said, listen, when a ship leaves the dockyard, when that sailor is on the ship's deck, not a single day passes that he doesn't think of death before going to sleep or upon waking up. Because you might think there's water all around, but he is constantly seeing death. A tsunami can come at any time, the ship can be damaged, something can attack, something can happen, and a hole can form underneath. I mean, anything can happen, right? So they are constantly seeing death. If I hadn't gained this wisdom from someone who spent his life at sea, I would never have been able to grasp this extraordinary subtle connection between the sea and death. They are the ones who can explain the connection from their own experience. This important point is what I wanted to convey to you today. The